everyone, and welcome back to my video. My name is Kyla, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this live setup for my Solomon Island tree boa. Basically, I'm just going to be taking you through the steps. This is her, and she is my Solomon Island tree boa. I've had her for a couple of years now, and she's always been in this kind of tall Rubbermaid tub because I always have problems with humidity. So I decided to do her a live planted tank, and I'm going to be showing you guys today how I did that. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Okay, so here are all the supplies that I used for this build. I will have a full list of everything that I used in the description below. The only thing I will say is I couldn't get the normal silicone that I would use, which is the GE marine grade silicone. I couldn't find that, so I had to use this alternate, which worked okay, but I would use that one in the future. But basically nothing too crazy. I used spray foam, silicone, lots of different cork bark, sticks, branches, and then hydro balls, which are basically clay balls for the drainage layer. And then I used some window screen, fiberglass window screen for the separation between the drainage layer. I have moss. Those were some rocks that I added. Yeah, here's the sphagnum moss here. And then I actually made my own substrate mix. I basically just mixed a whole bunch of different beddings together. You'll see it here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so here is the tank that I used. It is an 18 by 18 by 24 Exo Terra. I put on gloves. This is very important. And now I'm just basically going in with the spray foam. So basically what I'm doing is just covering the entire one side, and kind of just be careful because it does expand quite a bit, so you don't need to go crazy with how much foam you use. It does expand, it gets quite large. I basically am also just making sure that I'm attaching the background with the spray foam as well, because I chose to keep the background that the tank came with because I really liked the aesthetic of like the temple vibe. I then flipped the tank over once the other side had started to cure, and now I'm doing the other side. So just make sure that you let the other side cure for a little bit before you flip it, or the foam is literally just going to fall and it's going to get everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. So here is what the spray foam looked like after it had expanded, and it expanded quite a bit. You can see I did put a couple of sticks in the foam, but I didn't really attach much. I kind of wanted to leave it pretty plain on the walls in terms of adding a bunch of stuff to it. You will see in a little bit that I did add some different branches after. But yeah, this is what it looks like after it's completely expanded and it has sat for a few hours. So now I am shaving down the foam, and this part is very important because one, it helps you to give texture and kind of gives life to your project, but also the more you scrape off the kind of surface of the foam, the more that it's going to allow the silicone to attach. So this is very important, and you just want to make sure that you're carving out all your little details and you're giving the silicone a good place to actually adhere to. Okay, so here is what it looked like after I had shaved off the foam. You'll see I did add a couple of perches right in the center of the cage. The animal that I'm going to be putting in here is an arboreal snake, so I wanted to give her a good perch right under the lights. So that's what I did. On to the next. Okay, so here is what the background looks like after it is completed. And I did mean to film all of the silicone process and everything like that. My silicone gun basically broke and it just turned into a bit of a mess, so it took me a lot longer than I expected. Basically all I did was put silicone on the background, put on the like bedding, the substrate, and then I let it cure, and then I went back in a little bit later with some acrylic paints and did some fine details. so next up it was time for the drainage layer. I'm using hydro balls about 1 inch to 2 inches. I got these off Amazon, but basically they're just clay balls, and you can usually get them at any like nursery, flower center type place. I think even IKEA sells them. So this is what it looks like after the hydro balls are in. And next up I had to add the screen. This is literally just fiberglass screen, and I just put that inside. And now I'm adding in the substrate. So like I said, I made my own mix of substrate. It basically has coconut coir, sphagnum moss, it has peat moss, a little bit of play sand. I believe there's a couple other things. I think there's some broken down leaves. And basically I just mixed it till it was a good consistency. And this is what it looks like. Looks great. You just want a substrate that is going to be good to grow plants. And if you're planning on putting a cleanup crew in there, you also want it to be a good for them. So now here are the plants that I chose to use. I will put a list of what plants I used in the description. I actually got these ones from a reptile store, and they were grown to be in reptile enclosures, so they were completely safe. And now I am setting up the actual tank, and this part was so much fun, so I'm kind of just going to let you guys watch me set this up. Okay, so here I'm just hydrating the plants that I put in. I did end up moving a few things around and adding a few more things, but it's very important that you make sure you're hydrating the plants when you put them in. And here is what it looked like when it was first finished. So here is the final product. The only thing I have left to add in is the water bowl, but I'll add that in once the snake is actually in there. So yeah, here it is, all done. Okay everyone, this is the end of the video. We have gone through all of the steps, and the tank here behind me is finally done. And I couldn't be more happy with it. Honestly, it's not perfect. It's not the best bioactive tank you're ever going to see, but I'm very happy with it. And the only thing left missing is to add some springtails and isopods, which I do plan on doing. I just have to locate some and order them in. As we know, we can't really go to stores, like pet stores and things like that, and get them. So I'm going to look for somewhere online that I can get them, and that will be the last step. I am going to let the plants grow in a little bit more before I add in the snake whose home this is going to be. And other than that, it is done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss anything from me. Definitely follow me on Instagram. I post lots of different pet content. And yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this tank. And if you guys do any kind of live bioactive setups, definitely let me know. I'd love to check them out. So thanks for watching everyone. Bye.